Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. I'm joined today by Scott Girard via Skype from the Fitchburg Star, and he's joining us to talk about the council recap. Scott, how are you today?
Doing very well. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. I've been ill the past couple days, trying to get better, but we're hanging in there. We're doing good things. So yeah, all right. So we're talking about the recap today from council meeting, and first we're going to talk about a TIF from the SubZero.
Yeah, so SubZero, very familiar business here in Fitchburg, been here for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
they are building a new 350,000 square foot research facility. And it'll be for research and development, some testing, manufacturing, office space. And that's going to be on Seminole Highway, north of Lacey Road over there. And so Tuesday night, the council approved up to $5.5 million in TIF assistance, so tax increment financing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that will help toward the $60 million total cost of the project. And if that total cost goes down at all, the $5.5 million would also be reduced proportionately. So, final costs once they come in will determine exactly how much it gets. But it could be a significant thing. It's expected to add up to 100 jobs
Okay.
in the city. And really, it's the result of a February move the council made to expand the tax increment financing district that's over in that area. And that district not only applies to this development for SubZero, but now also Promega, which broke ground on a big project last
Mm-hmm.
week. So a lot's going on over there in that corridor, kind of across Seminole Highway from the North Stoner Prairie neighborhood. The building is expected to be substantially complete by the end of 2021. So they'll have about 2 years to do construction here.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask of if you had a kind of a timeline on that building.
Yep.
But so 2021 should be up and going.
By the
Yeah.
end of that year. Yep.
Awesome. Cool. So that's a big building. And like you said, Promega just had a groundbreaking there last week as well. So lots going up in that area. And next we're going to go to Dan Carpenter, who just resigned.
Yep.
Had to resign due to moving out of his district. So what did the council talk about this time with him?
Yeah, so this was the first meeting since his resignation, so an empty seat up there, and it'll be empty for next month and a half or so.
Okay.
They discussed how they were going to fill that seat. So it's the 1-year term that actually expires next April and will be on the ballot next April. So sort of a short time to fill, but applications are going to be due July 5th at City Hall, and that includes a resume and nomination papers. And along with that, there will be some other requirements that you can find out from the city clerk. But once those are in July 5th, there will be interviews scheduled for the committee of the whole meeting later that month. And the structure of that is going to be that each alder can submit a question that Mayor Aaron Richardson can ask and will ask each of the candidates. They're doing it that way to avoid personality conflicts or any other sort of thing getting in the way of a fair process, as they put it.
Mm-hmm.
So Aaron doesn't have a vote. So the alders will be the ones to vote, and the successful candidate will need 4 votes. So with Aaron not having a vote, he and it sounds like Alder Dan Barr, who is the chair of the committee of the whole meetings, we're more comfortable with him being the one to ask the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be that process. And then once they do those interviews, the appointment will be made at the first meeting in August. And whoever is appointed will need 4 votes. So it can't be one candidate gets 3 and 2 other candidates each get 2 votes. They'll have to find someone who gets 4 votes. So it'll be an interesting process to see how many people apply.
Yeah, and what are the stipulations there for people applying?
Yeah, the really only stipulation is you have to live in District 3.
Okay.
So if you live in those boundaries, which can be found on the city's website, you can apply.
Awesome. Well, hopefully people get out there to apply for this, and like you said, maybe they're getting a jump start for the next election season since it's only a 1-year seat. Also, we talked about that was discussed was the Uptown nonprofit group maybe coming to the area.
Yeah, so a little mystery behind this one. So
Uh-huh.
it'll be interesting to kind of follow this, but the council approved Green Tech Land Company selling 18 acres to a tax exempt entity. The council has to approve that because it's a loss of tax base, but they did approve it.
Mhm.
But all that we found out from Administrator Pat Marsh was that it's a nonprofit medical use user that wishes not to be identified yet. But he said, and I quote, "We believe this development is going to be a catalyst for things to come here in Uptown." So that's a strong statement from the administrator about
Mhm.
what this development could mean and what this user could mean. So it'll be interesting to follow along and see when that information comes out,
Yeah.
who it is.
Right. Yeah, that mystery is always like, oh, who could it be? You start trying to
Yeah.
figure it out, and so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds and what the company is and when we find out.
Hmm.
So, all right, and last we're going to talk about here. We had a proclamation for the LGBT for LGBT month as well.
Yep. So Mayor Aaron Richardson read a proclamation about LGBT Pride Month and recognizing it. From his research, it sounded like it's the first time the city's done so. The statement was really just in support of inclusivity for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and other queer individuals.
Hmm.
The alders stood in front of the room with pride flags, and the proclamation, along with a pride flag, are going to be placed in City Hall to create an environment of welcoming, they said. The HR director, Sarah Olson, also said that they're considering an employee resource group for LGBT employees and to attract and retain LGBTQ employees to the city of Fitchburg staffing. So kind of just a first-time proclamation there.
Well, that's cool. That's the first time that has been done here with Mayor Richardson doing a little research on that. So
Mhm.
that's neat. So it sounds like a pretty good council meeting, and we'll keep in touch for the next one. I have another recap after that Tuesday as well. So Scott,
Absolutely.
thanks for stopping in today, and hopefully you have a good couple weeks, and we'll talk to you after the next one.
Already looking forward to it.
All right, thanks, Scott. You stay right there. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk with Susie from the Chapel Valley Church. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.